Welcome to Ask the Expert with noted radio host Steve Sleeper. Each week, Steve interviews entrepreneurs and professionals and shares their intriguing stories of success and service. Now, here's radio veteran Steve Sleeper.
Our guest today is Wally Brylak, the founder of Brylak Law with offices in San Antonio, Texas, Colorado Springs, and Pueblo, Colorado. Brylak Law treats you like you're their only client. All cases are contingency with no retainer or hourly billing. They work with your doctors so you receive the needed medical care with no upfront cost. I began the interview by asking Wally about himself and his firm.
I grew up in a small steel mill town outside of St. Louis called Granite City, Illinois. And that's when I first saw as a kid what happens when folks get injured in a car accident. One of our neighbors was a steel worker, hardworking man, was in a car accident, not his fault, ended his career. They had to move out of the house. Here was a man who was hardworking, cared for his family, and it was all gone. That's when I decided to become a lawyer, and I've been helping injured folks for the past 30 years. I have 4 lawyers on my team. I have a staff of 15 split between Colorado and San Antonio, and all we do is help folks that are hurt.
Okay, so if I got hurt on the job, or let's say it's a car accident, it's not my fault, why do I need an attorney?
What I tell folks, and this is the truth, insurance companies aren't your friends. And, their insurance companies are always good at taking money out of your back pocket, but they're not real good about paying fair value on a claim. And you need a lawyer to level the playing field. One of the most important things that we do as attorneys is make sure that you get the medical treatment you need. Some folks get in a car wreck, they go to the emergency room, and as well as I do, unless you're missing an arm or a leg, the emergency room doc does a bunch of scans, gives you some pain pills, and then charges you $10,000 and off you go. There's a lot of times when folks will have disc damage in their low back or in their neck. It can haunt them for the rest of your life. And I am the poster child for that. I was a cyclist, and I got hit by a car after I took the bar. It was about 30 years ago. And 5 back surgeries later, here I am. So it's real important that people who are hurt get the medical treatment they need. Another benefit about hiring a lawyer, is that a lot of folks don't have health insurance, and they'll get in a wreck, can't afford going to a doctor, and they try to just wait it out. Well, what we can do is make sure you get the medical treatment you need, and you won't have to pay any kind of upfront costs. And everything will get figured out at the end, and docs will wait till the end of the case to get paid.
What do I do if an insurance adjuster calls me? And when I say insurance adjuster, the other guy, the at-fault party.
There's 2 things to do. Number one, if you're not hurt, and let's just say it was a tiny ding, then talk to the adjuster, have them fix your car. Everything probably will be taken care of fine. But if you're hurting, don't answer the phone, because they will either try to twist your words. They'll try and offer you, I've seen everything from them offering you $1,000 and promise to pay medical bills for $2,000. And then once you sign that release, then you signed away your claim. I tell folks, always talk to a lawyer first. If you don't talk to us, talk to somebody, but make sure that you talk to a lawyer to make sure your rights are protected.
Well, then how do I know if I have a case?
If you are hurt and you are in a car accident, you're going to have a case. If you come and see me or one of my team members, we'll obviously talk to you, do our investigation, but 95% of the time, the cases are valid. Now, there are occasions where maybe there's no insurance coverage, or maybe that, the facts of the accident will place you at fault. But it's always free to talk to us. So come on in or give us a shout first before you talk to an insurance company, and we can take a look at your case to make sure it's valid.
Okay, Wally, let's talk about a scenario. Let's say that guy runs a red light and T-bones me, hits the passenger side, and I can get out of the car and stuff. I'm not hurt real bad. At least I don't feel like I'm hurt real bad. Are there some things I should do after the accident at the scene?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great question. Well, first thing you should do, obviously, is make sure the driver, the passenger's okay, and make sure the other guy's okay. If somebody needs an ambulance, call an ambulance. Make sure you call the police so they can do a report, and take photographs of the scene, take photographs of the property damage of the other guy's car, of your car. Make sure you get the other guy's insurance information, but don't tell the other side anything about how you're feeling, anything like that, because I've seen it used against folks. And then when you get home, I see a lot of times where your adrenaline's pumping at the scene. So, you don't feel any kind of injury or you don't feel hurt, but then the next day it hits you. And that might be a good time to give a lawyer a call, or to, if you need to, go to urgent care and get checked out.
Okay, so how do I pay for a lawyer in a personal injury case?
We do everything on a contingency fee, which means that if we don't get you any money, you never pay us a dime. I've been doing this a long time, and what Brylak Law does that I think is kind of special is that we never take more money than the client. Some lawyers will say, okay, my contract says we're taking X percentage of the case. A lot of times I throw that out the window, because if there's not a lot of insurance coverage, somebody, has medical bills, well, I make sure that the client walks out with more money than I do. The way I look at it is you're the one that's hurt, not me. So I don't believe that the lawyer and the doctor should walk out with money and you get a Starbucks gift card. That's just not how I do it.
As we do this interview, Wally, I think we're about 5 months into the COVID pandemic. So I'm assuming you're open right now, but how are you handling it and how do you meet with clients and all that?
At our office, we've always had the philosophy of we come to you. So if you give us a call and you're hurt, we can arrange doctor's office visit. Sometimes we'll have intake folks go down to the doctor's office. Sometimes folks come to the hospital. In San Antonio and Colorado Springs, there's a mask requirement. So if folks come into the office, we have a team member take their temperature. Everybody's in masks. Our office is deep cleaned every day. And then after every client or I think it's now we're doing it 5 times a day, we have a team member come in with antiseptic wipes, wipe down all the surfaces. But we've also been doing Zoom meetings, and we will do electronic contracts, DocuSign. So folks, if they're not comfortable coming into the office, we can talk to them. Prior to the pandemic, I've never really used Zoom, but just like you, we're becoming Zoom experts now.
Do you think the pandemic is it delaying claims?
I can tell you yes and no. I am not seeing that claims are being delayed pre-litigation, which means that if we're able to settle your case without filing a lawsuit, I'm not really seeing a delay. But where I am seeing a delay is if we have to file a lawsuit to protect somebody's rights. And In San Antonio, for example, we're not having cases set now for until 2021. So it's just a slower process. And I don't like insurance companies, but I can't blame them for this. And I can't blame the courts. It's just the way it is. Folks are hesitant to go down and serve on a jury right now because of COVID, and I can't blame them. I'm just hoping once we get a vaccine, things will go back to normal.
Our guest today is Wally Brylak. Call Brylak Law at 866-883-5533. Offices in San Antonio, Texas, Colorado Springs, and Pueblo, Colorado.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Expert with Steve Sleeper. Join us next time as entrepreneurs and professionals share their intriguing stories of success and service.